कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शिल ठाकुर हरिदास की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौड़ भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा देवी की जय। यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी नारी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। इस्कॉन बीवीटी संस्थापक आचार्य शील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौ प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtrapraeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishne Swadhamo Bhagate Dharmajnanadibhi Saha Kalau Nashtadrishamesh Puranarko Dhunoditah. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, which is entitled The Punishment and Reward of Kali. Today we're on text number 8. Na jato kauravendranam dordanda parirambhite bhutale anupatanti asmin vina te praninam shuchah na jatu kauravendranam dordanda parirambhite bhutale anupatantyasmin vinate praninam shuchah na jatu kauravendranam dordanda parirambhite bhutale anupatanti asmin vinate praninam shuchah na jatu kauravendranam dordanda parirambhite bhutale anupatantyasmin vinate praninam shuchah. Na jatu kauravendranam न जातु कौरवेन्द्राणाम् ladies. न जातु कौरवेन्द्राणाम् दुर्दण्डपरिरम्भिते भूतले अनुपतन्त्यस्मिन् प्राणिनां शुचः न जातु कौरवेन्द्राणाम् भूतले अनुपतन्त्यस्मिन् na, not jata, at any time, Kaurava Indranam, of the kings in the Kuru dynasty, Dordanda, strength of arms, Pariramphite, protected by, Bhutale, on the surface of the earth, Anupatanti, grieving, Asmin, up till now, Vina, save and accept, Te, you, Praninam, of the living being, Shuchaha, tears in the eyes. Translation: now, for the first time in a kingdom well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. Please repeat. Now, for the first time in a kingdom well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. Report by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The protection of the lives of both the human beings and the animals is the first and foremost duty of a government. A government must not discriminate in such principles. It is simply horrible for a pure-hearted soul to see organized animal killing by the state in this age of Kali. Maharaj Parikshit was lamenting for the tears in the eyes of the bull, and he was astonished to see such an unprecedented thing in his good kingdom. Men and animals were equally protected as far as life was concerned. That is the way in God's kingdom. Om Jnana Timarantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Minitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swabadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Utaparagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Haripriye, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Najatu Kauravendranam Dordantha Paridambhite, Bhutale Anupatanti Asmin, Vinate Pranam Chuchaha. Now for the first time in a kingdom well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. Najatu means it has never happened at any time. Kauravendranam, among the kings of the Kaurava dynasty. The king is called Indra. Indra is the king of the gods. He's the leader of all the gods. And the king of men is called Narendra. Just like we have Narendra Modi. Not exactly of the same caliber of Maharaj Parikshit. In general, world leaders are not exactly of the same caliber of these great kings. But still they're called Indra. So just as you have Devendra, that is the king of heaven, or the king of the gods. Similarly, you have Narendra in this way. The best of anyone, any category, the best is called Indra. So, Kauravendranam, Dordanda. Dordanda. Do means arms, and Danda means a stick, rod, yeah. So what does it mean? Dordanda. Yeah, he has a stick in his arm. He's ready to chastise someone. Another meaning given by the dictionary, Dordanda, means his arms are very long. It's like in English we have this expression, the long arm of the law. You cannot escape. So this is Maharaj Parikshit. He was conscious of this, and here's Bhagavatam is also using the same word. So paridambhita, paridambhite. Paridambhita means, different acharyas are glossing it in different ways. Sridhar Swami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they both say it means paridambhitavat surakshite, being well protected, just as if you were to embrace someone and clasp them close to you. That's the best way to protect. It's like a mother with a child. If there's any danger for the child, immediately this is what she does. So this is the word paridambhita. Viragavacharya therefore says it means ashlishta. Ashlishta. Do we know a word that sounds like this? Ashlishta. Ashlishyava paradatham vinashtumam. He can embrace me. So it means embrace. Rakshite, Vijayadwaj Tirtha says. Same thing. Protected. So we'll get to that in a moment. And anupatanti, the word anupatanti. What does patanti mean? Patanti adha, anadrita yushmarankrayaha. People fall down when they don't recognize the authority of the Lord. So this means anupatanti. Patanti is ordinary falling, but anupatanti, what does it mean? Anu. Following the general populace, we can say this. This is what we hear in the 7th canto as well. One person is following another person blindly. This is a great danger in human society. If we just follow without thinking what others are doing, then that is a little bit risky path, because it is possible for a whole society to be misguided. Our society is definitely misguided. So this is a problem. Anupatanti, they fall down. Those who follow this person will also fall down. So that's not what it means in this case exactly. Different acharyas are glossing it in different ways. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Viragavacharya, they say it simply means patanti, to fall. Because what is it that's falling here? Yes, you can say that, but really grammatically, the word here is used shucha anupatanti. The tears are falling. No tears have ever been shed in my kingdom on account of royal negligence, he's saying. So, patanti, nipatanti, just like we pranipata. Nipat means to fall down, to descend. That's another way you can say. If we take it in terms of religion as descending or degrading, we can say, decaying. This is another way you can look at it. All right, so bhutale, on the surface of the earth, asmin bhutale, in this earth, vinate, except for you. The word te is here is used, it means, Srila Prabhupada says you. This is also given by Viragavacharya, Vijayadhwaj Tirtha, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Goswami Giridharilal, another commentator on the Bhagavatam, they say it means tava, your tears. Your tears have never fallen while these Kaurava kings are in charge. So in this way, we have different ideas. Shuk, shuch, shuchaha, comes from the word shuk. One commentator gives it, shuk choke shruni shauche cha ityabhidhanat. The word, all words in Sanskrit come from verbal roots, and in this case it would be shuk. What does shuk mean? Don't think Shukadev Goswami, a different thing. That's a noun. Shuch. Do we know any words that sound like this? Shuch. Shuchi. It means to shine, to be clean. Shuchi, to be radiant. That's one meaning. He gives another meaning here. Shoke shruni. Tears that come when you're grieving. This is called na shochati na kangshati. The same root. Shochati. Shochati. And here it's the idea is that people are suffering tears. Cows are suffering tears. It's a terrible thing. The cows, they feel so much pain, they feel so much fear, they cry when they're in the abattoir. And they know what's going to happen. They can hear the screams of their brethren. Just like people. When the Jews entered the big rooms in places like Auschwitz, they didn't really realize that there was a problem, but they were very suspicious because they were asked to strip naked before they entered the room. The humiliation alone of being naked in a room of 100 or 500 other naked people, that was not of any concern to the Nazis. But the Jews, they started realizing something was wrong when they started feeling dizzy, and then people started dropping all around them, and then eventually everybody was dead. So in the same way that people feel this pain, animals feel similar pain. This is something we can speak about in a moment, but this is the idea. Shucha means to feel grief or to suffer and to shed tears in a particular. Sridhar Swami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur particularly declares this word as ashruni, tears. Shok ashru bindu, Viragavacharya gives it, drops of teardrops out of shoka. Means shoka, what does shok mean? Anybody know? Shok, yes, sadness. Sadness. Like Ashok, we had the king, famous. So, shoka nimitta ashrubindava, Vijayadhwaj Tirtha says, on account of the suffering, these teardrops are falling. All right, so these are the word meanings. Now, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives, how many? 6 or 7 sentences here. He makes basically 6 or 7 points. First thing, the protection of the lives of both the human beings and the animals is the first and foremost duty of a government. The first thing you have to do is to become, well, what the king, we know, according to Bhagavad Gita, the king's purpose is the same purpose as God's purpose. That's why he deserves the title of Nara Deva. He's like God, but as a human God. So what is God's purpose when he comes into this world? Yes, paritrana sadhu, he protects the sadhus, or weak persons in general. Kshatriya. Kshatriya. Sometimes in Punjab especially we have kshatriyas, they have the name Khanna. Anybody ever heard persons with this name? Gopal Khanna. So Khanna means similarly, kshatna. You don't hurt this person. If you're in the protection of a kshatriya, a real kshatriya, you know you're not going to be hurt. You're not going to be harmed. So this is the first and foremost duty. So if his purpose is to establish dharma or to maintain dharma, then people have to do what? They have to be alive. Otherwise they can't follow dharma. Therefore the king has to be very strong. Just like we've had a spate of senseless acts of random violence in the United States in the last week or so. Just people are cracking left and right, it seems, in this country now. They don't have any positive alternative to the unprecedented decadence and confusion that reigns now, and so they just snap. They buy a gun because anybody can go and get a gun in America, and they just go in some public place and start shooting for no apparent reason. No one in particular is a target. They just snap. So these are the persons that a kshatriya has to protect one against. He has to protect all the citizens. Back in text 6 we heard Srila Prabhupada. Is it text 6? No, it's text number 4, sorry. Maharaj Parikshit was well equipped with arrows and bow and seated on his chariot, and he spoke with a deep voice sounding like thunder. So Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport, an administrative head or a king like Maharaj Parikshit with full majestic authority, well equipped with weapons to chastise miscreants, can challenge the agents of the age of Kali. Then only will it be possible to counteract the degraded age. In the absence of such a strong executive head, there is always disruption of tranquility. So we have show bottle executive heads nowadays. They represent a degraded public, and they cannot possibly, therefore, be equal to Maharaj Parikshit, because a king does not represent the public. A king represents whom? God. Naradeva, as we said already. Just like the Brahmins, they're called Bhudevas. The Naradeva, the kings are called Naradevas. The same idea. Okay, so this is the first thing. He has to protect the lives of the citizens. And who are the citizens? Praja. Not just people who are registered to vote. Not just human beings. But anybody who takes birth in that kingdom. How many species are there? 8 million. Millions of different kinds of living entities. The king is actually responsible for their welfare. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada explains in the 4th canto, chapter 20, text 14, 1/6 of the karma of the prajas is taken by the king. If they're all sinful, then he shares 1/6 of that reaction. Therefore, it's in his own interest. Swartha means your own interest. Swarthi means a selfish person. We don't even know how to be selfish in this world. A king, if he's selfish, he will consider that I'm getting the reaction for these people, I better make them pious. And similarly, if a king does not take this responsibility seriously, then the citizens get his punya instead. And he gets what from them? Their papa. He gets their sinful reactions and they get his pious actions. If he does not execute his duty of establishing dharma. So the first thing Prabhupada is saying here, he has to establish, he has to keep them alive. He has to, elsewhere in the 4th canto, chapter 21, text 23, Srila Prabhupada says, the king's primary duty is to protect and feed living entities. Sometimes we find governments are so demoniac, they deliberately starve their own citizens, or they starve second-class citizens within their charge. So This is the thing. But according to 4th Canto, chapter 21, text 25, the king's first and foremost duty, there it's stated, is to establish dharma. Why dharma? What does dharma mean? That which sustains us. Now that we have this word sustainability as a big buzzword in the modern world, we don't know how to sustain things. Dharma sustains. Dharma rakshati rakshitaha. In the Dharma Smritis, it's stated. If you protect dharma, then dharma will automatically protect you. Or as Prabhupada said elsewhere here, you already automatically, the citizens will live in tranquility. Now, the second sentence, Srila Prabhupada writes, a government must not discriminate in such principles. What does that mean? A government must not discriminate while protecting both human and animals. Yes. Yes. Anything else? Sorry? Yeah, he cannot be biased. He has to protect everybody. We've discussed this already. He is responsible for all the prajas. This praja concept, praja, anybody who is born is praja. This is the sense. He's the father of all, not exactly literally, but I mean figuratively, he feels this way. He feels this sense of responsibility. Where is the leader in the modern world who has this broad concept of administrative responsibility? Basically doesn't happen anywhere. Even in India, so-called land of dharma, it's a multi-million-dollar industry to kill cows. It's said that they're the number one exporters of beef in the world now. Indians. And it's not just the Muslims doing this. Don't have that illusion. It is definitely Hindus. And why are they doing it? It is very, very lucrative. You can get 6,000 rupees for one cow. And one night, if you kidnap, say, 10 cows, then how much money do you have? Yes, nearly $1,000. So this is the idea. And a person who makes an average of maybe $2, I mean, it's very difficult for him to give up this very lucrative, attractive, financially attractive mode of life. And therefore, because corruption is endemic in India, especially, it seems like the cheating propensity is as all-pervading in India as illicit sex is in the West. We can say that. So, therefore, people fall, and corrupt leaders allow them to fall, and they don't realize that they have to share in their reactions. So discrimination is a bad word in 2019, isn't it? We talk about you should not discriminate. I feel I'm being discriminated against, correct? But actually, discrimination is required to some degree. When is discrimination required? Who requires discrimination? This is the point. Yes. Yes. We have to discriminate between matter and spirit. This is a very common theme in Prabhupada's books. Think about the different levels of adhikar that are described in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Which one involves discrimination? Yes, Ishware tadadhineshu. A Madhyama Adhikari has to see, this person is envious, this person is innocent, this person is a devotee, etc. He has to discriminate for his own good. All of us. We have to, even in the 3rd canto we hear from Kapila Dev also, there are different kinds of devotees. Also you have to discriminate. Srila Prabhupada, I was reading this morning, he writes that a Madhyama Adhikari cannot advance unless he gets the association of an Uttama Adhikari. And so we have to look. In order to determine who is who, We have to use our discrimination. So it's important. Therefore, but we have to treat everyone equally as a spirit soul, but we have to discriminate on what this person can do for me or to me. This is the point. So both have to go on at the same time, because we're living in two worlds at once. It is completely impractical to just conclude that because all living beings are spirit souls, therefore I can embrace a tiger. Completely impractical. You will be killed. And similarly, people who are like tigers will kill you. We call them toxic people. You have to be careful to see who is who, and you have to avoid. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, Deho natha jata jata. This nice word in Bengali, jata jata. Means you have to offer respect to everyone, it's true. And you have to see everyone as spirit soul, but you have to consider carefully who is in what position. This is described at some length in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila chapter 16, text 72, which is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defines a Vaishnava. How does he give that definition? Anybody know offhand? Somebody who's sincerely chanting the holy name of Krishna. In the purport there it's described, and in the verses that ensue after that it's also described at some length. In chapter 22 as well, around text 71, the same thing is described. Discrimination is necessary for Madhyama Adhikar, and discrimination is also necessary to follow the injunctions of the Shastra. What does Krishna say about Shastric injunctions in chapter 16 of Bhagavad Gita, text number 23 and 4? Anybody know? Yes. A person should not whimsically give up the injunctions of the Shastra. But in order to follow the injunctions of the Shastra, you have to use your discrimination. You have to see this person is in such a position, this person is in another position. This thing will elevate me, that thing will degrade me. This thing is edible, that thing is not edible. Discrimination is required. Okay, so the king's discrimination is, he's not discriminate in the sense that he protects everyone. All living entities, animals and human, because he sees them in terms of spirit soul, if he's a Krishna conscious king, but even if he's ordinary king, he sees them as praja, a special, all-inclusive category for which he's responsible. Now in the third sentence, Srila Prabhupada writes, it is simply horrible for a pure-hearted soul to see organized animal killing by the state in this age of Kali. Horrible. Horrible means it horrifies you. And Maharaj Parikshit was horrified to see this unprecedented sight. Now it's a very common thing. We don't think twice about it. And therefore we are conditioned souls. We are conditioned by the decadence of this age such that we don't even notice that it's a problem. Just like the other day, my wife was cooking and she filled up a nice bag of fresh green vegetable peels. And immediately I thought, because I live in Vrindavan, there's no cow to give this to. This is such a valuable thing. The cows value this very much. And I also value the opportunity to please the cows. But where do you find a cow in Los Angeles? So a person who is absorbed in a real pure lifestyle, he feels the absence of that lifestyle in this environment. This is called Desha Sambhava Dosha in the 11th canto. Flaws that are produced as a result of your environment. It is a faulty environment. This is the point. And similarly, everywhere you look, every society, they used to say that a society is represented by its literature. Just like somebody said, if you want to know a man, you look at his bookshelf. But nowadays, no one reads anymore. No one reads any books. What to speak of Srila Prabhupada's books? People don't read anything. So billboards are the indicator of the society. If you go to South India, every 10 feet in South India, you will see billboards for what the Tamils call Tanga Maligai, gold collection, or Chennai silk means, silk saris. This is the absorption of those people. If you come to America, what kind of billboards do you see? Cigarettes, liquor, movies. What else? Huh? Now we have marijuana also. This is another thing. In some places it's worse than in other places. I mean, it seems to me that the worst place in the country maybe is Houston, Texas. There you also find advertisements for what they call gentlemen's club. The word perfectly good word gentleman has been completely ruined by association. So this is desha sambhava dosha. This is a flaw, because when we see these things again and again, we become desensitized to the fact that they're so egregious, so pernicious, so debased and degrading, and as Prabhupada rightly says here, horrifying or horrible. So if Maharaj Parikshit, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has described, he felt two things: anutap and atopa. Anutapa means a combination of regret and remorse. He was horrified. This is the point. And atopa means he felt some swelling. The word atopa means to swell or to puff. It also means pride or self-conceit. It means a few things. So in this way, he was speaking a little bit out of pride also. He spoke this verse. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Tvayeva rajani sati vayam eva dukhinaha sampratam samabhumeti che tatraha sanutapam satopam chaha najatuvati. He spoke this verse with a mixture of remorse and pride, because he saw this bull, and this bull was maybe thinking in his mind that nobody's ever suffered like us. This has never happened before under any such king like you. This has never ever happened before. So Maharaj Parikshit was very concerned. We shouldn't take atopa in this case as a flaw, because that is a natural quality for the kshatriyas. Anybody know the verse that confirms this? Yes, Shauram Teja Dhriti. Yes, it's described again in Bhagavad Gita. Shauram Tejo Dhritir Dakshyam. He has to be heroic, he has to have power, he has to have determination or forbearance, he has to be expert, and he should not flee from a fight. Dhanam Ishvara Bhavascha. He has to give in charity, and he has to feel like a controller. Kshatram Karma Swabhavajam. These are the natural characteristics of a person who is really a kshatriya. So, how horrible it is. Srila Prabhupada describes in his purport to text 3 already. He's told us that the cow stands, here he says, in the Kali Yuga, the calves are separated from the cows as early as possible for purposes which may not be mentioned in these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. The cow stands with tears in her eyes. The Shudra milkman draws milk from the cow artificially, and when there's no milk, the cow is sent to be slaughtered. These greatly sinful acts are responsible for all the troubles of the present society. And people wonder, they hide these things. Dayananda Prabhu pointed out for us the other day very adroitly. These things are hidden away. Actually, they are hidden. Nobody kills anyone in public, full view of the public. Everybody does these things in private. They know that it's wrong. This is why slaughterhouses are very cleanly kept away from public view. They know that it is heinous, and they're doing these sinful things anyway. And Srila Prabhupada says here that these things are responsible for all the troubles of the present society. How many animals are killed every year in this world? Does anyone know? No. 56 billion. 56 billion. If you don't believe me, you can go and look it up on, what is that, animalclock.org or maybe .com. They're giving you a whole, you can see the numbers switch right in front of your eyes, because there are so many, every second there are so many hundreds, thousands being killed in this world. It is a wide-scale slaughter, unthinkable in previous ages when kings actually had any sense of responsibility to their prajas. It's an unthinkable thing. So 56 billion per year, that means about 150 million every day. How many were killed in World War II? Anybody know? 56 million. Half the number that is killed every day of animals in the modern world. So this is a great it is a great outrage, actually, for a pious king like Maharaj Parikshit. He's ready to do something. He's been described in first canto, chapter 17, text number 4, just a few verses ago. Karnamukha, samaropita karnamukha. Karnamukha means he's ready to do something about it. This is a Kshatriya spirit. A Kshatriya has this idea, let me do something. Just like after these people were killed in Dayton, Ohio, and where else was it? Maybe somewhere in Texas. Yeah, the mayor was surrounded by the citizens of the city, and they're all shouting, "Do something, do something, do something." This is a Kshatriya. This is what people therefore naturally expect from a Kshatriya. They want him to do something, and Maharaj Parikshit is described in these words. So people are desensitized by the pervasiveness of these sinful activities. They don't even think twice about it anymore. And in fact, the values are so perverted now that people think opposite. The sinful reaction or the public outrage that would attend, say, killing of a Brahmana in previous ages, they're now attended with if it's discovered that someone has killed, say, a homosexual or someone else. I mean, I just came from New York because in New York their whole city is plastered with posters about a raid some maybe 30 years ago on a gay bar in New York City, in which the police, arrested so many people. And this has now it's been reified now as if it's some sort of civil rights milestone, rather than what it really is. Anyway, that's another thing. But the point is that the values of modern society are completely perverted, such that adharmam dharmam itiya. One considers dharma to be adharma, and one considers adharma to be dharma. Where is this described? Anybody know? 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and what is it depicting? Intelligence in the mode of ignorance. Yes. So these things we have to study. This is the basis of proper discrimination. In chapter 17 and chapter 18, and also chapter 14. Because we've described already, Krishna says in chapter 16, you have to follow the Shastras. If you're interested in elevating yourself to any degree, you have to follow the Shastras, but the Shastras entail so much distinction. Kevaladvaita doesn't work in this world. It has no practical utility. What does Kevaladvaita mean? Ultimately means, pure oneness. Doesn't actually have any practical utility in this world. We have to recognize that. And its worst manifestation is Mayavad. 700 or 800 years ago, Madhvacharya predicted, if this Shankara's philosophy is allowed to spread, then all morality in the world is finished. And we've seen his prediction has actually come to pass. On account of Mayavad ideologies, all this sinful activity is going on. All right, I don't want to take too long. What else does Srila Prabhupada say? Maharaj Parikshit was lamenting for the tears in the eyes of the bull, and he was astonished to see such an unprecedented thing in his good kingdom. Yeah, he had a sense of his responsibility, and he had a sense of compassion, and he had some pride as well that this is not going to happen in my watch. So he decided to do something. Then Prabhupada finishes here. Men and animals were equally protected as far as life was concerned. As far as life was concerned. At least they're kept alive. You equal concern for their lives. That is the way in God's kingdom. Therefore it's called what? God's kingdom. What do we call it? Vaikuntha. There's no such anxiety that somebody's going to come and kill you. Like these poor cows. They're shunted down a path that they cannot escape from, and they're stung with an electric barb of some sort, and they're terrified, and they can hear the shrieks of their fellow cows, but they can't do anything. So we're very fortunate that we have been awakened to this awareness by Srila Prabhupada's grace. We have been enlightened and elevated beyond this sinful de facto standard of the modern civilization, so we have an obligation to do something. Karmukaha, as Maharaj Parikshit felt an obligation to do something, we have an obligation to do something. And what did Prabhupada say about that? Just as I am doing, you have to do. Just as I have saved you, you have to save others. And the best way to do that is threefold. We have Harinama Sankirtana, we have transcendental book distribution, we have prasadam distribution. These are three powerful weapons that Srila Prabhupada used to fight with Maya, using these things. Just as Maharaj Parikshit had his Dordanda, the strong arms of the Kaurava dynasty, and we have these weapons as well. All right, I'm going to stop here, but if anybody has any questions or any comments, yes. I can hear you. I'll repeat the question for the internet. Keep the questions real simple. Yeah. Yes, I have. I've been to the new farm in Seattle, yes. There's a slaughterhouse just down the road from it. They came to the ISKCON farm threatening to steal the cows. Ayo. Because we have the best cows in the whole valley. This is envy. Therefore, security cams have been installed. This is what you have to do in a society of thieves. In America and other places, two reasons for security cams everywhere. Number one, everybody is ripping off something. Number two, the government wants to exploit people. In places like China, if you express your faith openly, there's cameras recording every moment, and you'll be shipped off to a concentration camp. This is going on nowadays. Bloodlust. Yeah, well, it's probably financially motivated, but that's the same thing in India. Okay. Yeah. Similarly, Kurma Rupa in Vrindavan was protecting his cows personally with a shotgun. It's been documented in Vrindavan even. People come in the middle of the night and they try to steal cows from Krishna Balaram. It's been done before. They pay the police to, yeah, this is India. It's the same thing I mentioned. The slaughter is going on so rampantly and the laws are not being amended appropriately because people are corrupt. They want the money. It's a lot of money. It is. You had a question also? Mm-hmm. Memorize the back of all of Prabhupada's books. There's a Sanskrit pronunciation guide. If you memorize that, you'll be fine. Everything is there. Everything is there. In order to learn how to pronounce and read Sanskrit, everything is there. It's all you need. Any other questions or comments? Yes. Mm. Oh, well, you're going to have to state the argument a little better because I'm not aware. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So in a nutshell, I think you're asking that on one hand, we know that Mayavad causes immorality because Mayavad invalidates the very concept of an ethical system that's real. Mayavad affects immorality because the ideology itself invalidates any notion of right and wrong. That's considered to be a duality, and it's like pulling the carpet out from underneath whatever your moral basis is. So that's Mayavad. As far as Vaishnavism causing immorality, your point is that people may take Krishna's pastimes with the gopis to be cheap or something that can be imitated. And you mentioned that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, like his father, worked very hard to fight against this kind of sahajya mentality. These are the two enemies of dharma in the modern world. One of them is Mayavad and the other one is sahajya tendency. So you want me to comment further on this, correct? So some people can reject Vaishnavism and go over to Mayavad philosophy because they just can't. They see that it's affecting immorality between the sexes, especially. I think is what you're saying, correct? Yeah. So this is why one has to, number one, hear from a bona fide guru, and hearing from a bona fide guru means surrendering to a bona fide guru, and people are not prepared to do that, and therefore their illusions are not dispelled. But after hearing from a bona fide guru, what we learn is that Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidhim Vina Aikantiki Herir Bhaktir Utpataiva Kalpate. So-called exclusive devotional service that is not actually substantiated explicitly with reference to the guru and the sadhu and shastra. That is causing a disturbance in society. So not only do we have to hear from a bona fide guru, but we have to repeat what the bona fide guru teaches. And that means we have to substantiate whatever we're saying or whatever we're thinking or whatever we're doing in terms of the Shastric injunctions. Otherwise, this so-called exclusive devotional service, pure devotional service, it very quickly devolves into the sahajya mentality that you've very correctly pointed out. It leads to immorality. In India, this is why Prabhupada takes this otherwise obscure Bengali religious sect called Prakrita Sahajias, and he just explains and hammers on this point page after page after page throughout his books, because it is a universal human tendency to take things very cheaply and to look for some loophole in the philosophy that will allow you to maintain sense gratification. The false ego is extremely determined to do that. Therefore, in the fifth canto, we hear that we should never ever trust the mind at any point, even when we're liberated. What I'm reading in Prabhupada's books is that even Krishna's personal associates, participating in his eternal leelas, they also consider themselves to be conditioned souls, and they also follow the general standard vidhis that are given in the Shastras for human behavior. Because there's no objective yardstick otherwise. If this transcendental morality, so-called transcendental morality, is not referring to the Shastra, then it becomes very easily degraded, and you cannot prove what it is. Thieves work under the cover of darkness. Where there's no light, then the thieves can affect so many nefarious things. And ideologues also work in this way if they're preaching heretical ideas. Therefore, the emphasis has to be the books. And this is why Prabhupada told us, books are the basis. You see in places where people are very strong about adhering to Srila Prabhupada's books and reading, studying Srila Prabhupada's books, in addition to distributing his books, those places are very strong in Krishna consciousness. They don't have so many problems. When you take the books out of the picture, then it's so much difficulty results. Yes, Buddhism in particular, although it's not a Mayavad sect, it's atheism technically. But Buddhism in particular emphasizes on morality, moral principles such as ahimsa. This is, in fact, Buddha's very purpose. Otherwise, he wouldn't preach this atheistic ideology. But he saw it as the only way to get people to stop this pseudo-sacrifice that was going on in the name of religion. And sometimes, evidently, sometimes Bhagavan has to do this. Of course, if we are grounded in the books in the way that I'm suggesting, then we don't get misled even by the teachings of the Buddha. We have to be grounded in the Shastra. Therefore, the importance of that verse cannot really be overestimated. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidhim Vina Aikantiki. That one, and also Tasmat Chastram Pramanam Te Karya Vijanataha. You have to discriminate, the word is used. Vijanataha. You have to understand what is to be done and what is not to be done on the basis of what the books say, which means you have to read the books. Is that okay? Anything else? All right, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.